My name is Noah Kazumanaway. I am an IDS major in political psychology and media, and my interest level in politics is a 5.
My name is Catherine Heidi. I am a junior, and I am a math and economics major, and scale of 1 to 5. I'd say 3.5.
Hi, my name is Holly Shan. I am a junior in the college studying neuroscience, and my interest in politics is probably 3 out of 5 because I'm from DC, so there's a lot of stuff going on right now.
My name is Natalie. I am a junior. I'm majoring in WGSS. I'm minoring in poli-sci. I'm pretty interested in politics. I would probably put it at like a 4.
Probably about a 7 or an 8.
7.
Coming from a very liberal area right on the outskirts of DC, but also having exposure to a lot of conservative views, I honestly would put myself at a 5.
I would probably say about a 7, being more towards the liberal side. I think so. I tend to not like to see tweets that make me angry.
I would say yes for the most part. Most of them are friends from home, and I think we're very like-minded individuals.
There are people who represent my views on Twitter, but I think very often, more seldom than not, you see that Twitter becomes this echo chamber for political ideology, for left political ideology, and to a lesser extent, extreme right ideology as well. I wouldn't call it radical news. I would call it misinformation oftentimes, or skewed news. I believe that Twitter is probably the worst at it, because I think generally it comes from more one side than the other. If you're on Facebook, you usually see radical ideology coming from both sides, so it's more, well-rounded, so you can at least say to yourself, well, both sides are saying diametrically opposed things. Let me actually go and check it out somewhere else and actually go out there and find more information other than just seeing one side of the news.
I would say yes, just because some of the things I follow on Twitter are certain politicians. So it's definitely partisan, but nothing particularly out there.
Now that I've gone to college, I do think that a lot of the Facebook ads or campaigns were very liberal, and I don't think that's a bad thing, but I do think that there should be more of an equal footing, and I think Facebook is trying to get rid of the radicalization and trying to promote moderate thinking and more fact-based articles, stuff like that, but I definitely feel like there's a possibility of radicalization, especially when you're exposed to one type.
No. I think Twitter's basically Wikipedia for when you have a research paper. It's a good start, and it might be oh, this event happened, and then you should do other research to figure out what exactly happened, but I wouldn't just take all of the information from Twitter.
Viable news source. I think it depends what you're looking at on various forms of social media. I think there's a difference between following the New York Times on Twitter versus following specific politicians, or just looking at uncredible news sources like BuzzFeed.
I mean, I really don't use Twitter to get my news, because I think if I use Twitter to get my news, then I won't get news. I'll just get a one-sided, very binary view of politics.
I do try and actively read more moderate sources such as NPR. I love listening to NPR, things not too Democrat or not promoting a certain, being very bipartisan, if that's the correct terminology.
I think they can. Just because since people use so much social media nowadays, if you're only exposed to biased articles, you're only going to hear about things that already confirm your ideology, and therefore not be exposed to the other side of the argument?
100%.
I don't think so, because as long as someone actively, as if you are an educated citizen, you are voting, you should be seeking out sources that can balance out, or not to do confirmation bias, stuff like that. Being active in trying to find stuff that suits you, suits your community, and we just have to be active in order for our political echo chambers not to affect us in a negative way.
I'm going to list a number of political figures, commentators, and organizations and ask you to rank your degree of interest in following them on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being not interested, 5 being very interested. And if you don't know the person, it's totally fine. Just say you don't know them. So we're going to start with the NRA.
1.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I give her like a 3 or 4.
Okay. Nancy Pelosi.
I actually think Nancy Pelosi is kind of funny, so I would give her like a 4.
Anderson Cooper.
I love Anderson Cooper. 5.
Moms demand action for gun safety in America.
That would be interesting. I'd probably give him like a 2 or 3.
The NRA.
Probably a 5.
Donald Trump.
5.
AOC.
5.
Tucker Carlson.
3.
Rachel Maddow.
Maybe, sorry, Tucker Carlson, like a 2 or a 1.
Fox and Friends.
1.
Morning Joe.
1.
CNN.
1. Maybe 3.
And then Moms Demand Action for Gun Safety in America.
5.
Okay. Donald Trump.
4.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
4.
Nancy Pelosi.
3.5.
Mitch McConnell.
2.
Fox and Friends.
Fox and Friends, like Fox News?
Yes.
Okay. 2.
CNN.
4.
Ann Coulter.
3.
And Moms Demand Action for Gun Safety in America.
1.
The NRA. 1 to 5.
4.
Donald Trump.
5.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
3.
Tomi Lahren.
5.
Tucker Carlson.
5.
Nancy Pelosi.
2.
Anderson Cooper.
4.
Mitch McConnell.
2.
Fox and Friends.
3.
Moms Demand Action for Gun Safety in America.
3.
Interesting to hear what you think going forward, the role that political echo chambers could play in the 2020 election. What do you think of that?
I think we're going to see the same things happen that we did in 2016. I think that it's going to do nothing but polarize the electorate more, and make it harder for people to come together and communicate with the same set of with facts and living in the same universe. Because if we don't have the same set of facts in the same universe, then what are we even debating at that point?
I think it's really interesting to see how Facebook works when there's like around election time, because usually the only other people that follow you that have different opinions from you might be like distant family, and you follow them because they're relatives, and then you just see all the comments of like people debating. But is it really going to change their mind if like you're stuck in your ways and they're stuck in their ways and you don't actually talk?
I think it is so important to be active citizens, and what my dad says, the most important thing you can do as an American citizen is to vote. And in order to have an educated vote, we really have to be able to discern facts from just entertainment.